In a land of myth and a time of magic, the destiny of a great kingdom rests on the shoulders of a young... Get your patriarchal mind out of the gutter. This story is about a boss-ass queen. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Movie Centric. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video. If you haven't checked out my last video, please do so right after this video. And if you don't, I swear to God, I will curse you to 1,000 deaths. Thank you. If you thought this was going to be the normal Merlin or Arthurian legend, then you're in for one hell of a surprise, because it's definitely not. If you haven't watched Cursed, please go and do so now before I come there and do some hocus pocus bullshit on your ass. Cursed is a new Netflix show that came out on the 17th of July. It has 10 episodes and is filled with magic, fantasy, drama, adventure, action, film, fiction. Cursed tells the story of a powerful sorceress called Nimue and her mission to save her people from the brink of extinction. For this video, I'm going to be reviewing, characterizing, and then predicting, so please do not stop watching. I am also going to be comparing and differentiating between this series, Cursed, and the normal Merlin and Arthurian legend, as well as some other series that Cursed relates to in a way. The story begins with a powerful teenage sorceress called Nimue, who is ostracized from her community because everybody there believes that she was cursed as a child. In the beginning, Nimue only has a few people who she's actually close to, which are her mom and her best friend called Pim. And like every normal hero or heroine series or movie, Nimue is given a responsibility to which she ignores, and she tries to run away. If I were her, I'd have run away a long time ago, because honestly, being ostracized is so not cool. So, Nimue tries to run away. She already has a plan. She takes her best friend with her, Pim. They leave and she wants to get on a ship. Unfortunately, the ship has taken off before she gets there, and she has to wait a little while before the ship gets back. While she's waiting, she meets a handsome and dashing knight called Arthur. Oh wait, sorry. Did I say knight? I meant mercenary, cutthroat, and sellsword. Yes, Arthur is everything that a knight is not supposed to be. Sparks fly between Arthur and Nimue, and she ends up spending more time than she's supposed to with him. She gets into a little problem with some brutes, manages to escape. On her way back to her town, she realizes that her town is on fire and her people are being cut down like animals. Their houses are being burned. Everybody's being massacred by men in red robes. So let me just take you back a few. Nimue comes from a long line of Fae. Fae are like magical creatures and everything, filled with sorcerers and all sorts of wonderful beasts and stuff. The Fae are being haunted and executed by the church. The men in red robes are called the Red Paladins. They are soldiers of the church who have been sent to execute and extinguish the Fae from the face of the earth. They have no regard for human life. They have no regard for the Fae life. They kill men, women, and children of the Fae. They have no remorse and no guilt. They are led by a man called Father Cardin. Overwhelmed by all the chaos, Pim is dragged away from Nimue. The two get separated. Nimue goes to look for her mother. Her mother's name is Leonor. Nimue finds her in a cave. Once the two reunite, Leonor gives Nimue a rather large package and tells her to get it to Merlin at all costs. Nimue watches as her mother is slaughtered by the Red Paladins. Then she begins her journey to Merlin. While trying to outrun the Red Paladins, she is attacked by a pack of wolves. The wolves try to eat her, but Nimue is able to fight them off using the package that her mother gave her, which is actually a sword, a very powerful sword. It's called the Sword of Power. She uses it to slaughter all the wolves that try to attack her. As Nimue continues her journey with the Sword of Power, she meets a whole bunch of people such as Morgana, Merlin, Case, Roth, Duff, Iris, the Weeping Monk, and a whole bunch of others. Just to clarify, some of the characters are quite different from what we originally grew upon or read in stories or watched as in Merlin, such as Merlin himself. Merlin is not the in Cursed. Merlin is not the sweet, brave manservant to Arthur. No, Merlin is a very powerful sorcerer who is an advisor to Uther Pendragon, and is also a very drunken fool. He drinks a lot. And as I said before, the Red Paladins and Father Cardin work for the Roman Church, who wants to extinct the Fae, so the Church can really have some kind of, they can dominate that particular area and rule the place, so that the kings of that country or area, I don't know, can be under the authority of Rome. The Red Paladins use a man called the Weeping Monk to track Fae people and kill them. As Nimue's journey continues, she decides to use the Sword of Power to protect herself and the last remaining members of the Fae kind. With the help of Arthur and Morgana, she tries her best, but unfortunately she has a lot of enemies. Not only the Red Paladins after her, but also Uther Pendragon and Cumber the Ice King. They all want the Sword of Power because it was the sword of the first kings, and it's very powerful. They can use it to destroy their enemies and stuff. Cursed is filled with massacres and gruesome deaths. It has unexpected twists and turns. It's really cool. The graphics are amazing. The Fae people are sick. They look amazing, honestly. They have all these antlers and they can fly and all sorts of things. It's really cool. And whenever Nimue uses her powers, she has these green things come on her face. It's like so amazing. It looks awesome. So a lot of characters in Cursed are quite different but also similar to other characters in other shows. For example, Merlin. Merlin in Cursed is portrayed as at the beginning he's portrayed as a very drunk person, a fool actually. He's not so kind, and but later on we begin to realize that Merlin actually has a heart of gold, but was just lost in some kind of way. He's very different from the Merlin in the 2008 British fantasy adventure TV series. Another example of a character that is quite different but also similar is Morgana. The Morgana in Cursed starts off as kind. Then she like wants to take a turn and go to the other side and something like stuff like that. But eventually the kindness in the heart comes out. She's different from the Morgana in the 2008 British TV series Merlin. Because as you all know, Morgana was kind at first, but then she became full blown evil and she died as an evil person. But this one is quite different. She's kind, she's Nimue's very good friend, and she's Arthur's sister and stuff like that. Yeah, they're not like the best of siblings. And another character that is also different but also similar is Uther. The Uther in Cursed and the Uther in Merlin are practically almost the same person. They are both wicked and evil. But it's just that the Uther in Cursed is kind of weird. Like he talks to himself in first person. He refers to himself as we, like two people. To me, he comes off as schizophrenic, but he isn't, I think. He's just like, to me, mentally unstable. That's just the difference between the Uther in Cursed and the Uther in Merlin. And one thing I liked about the show was that the normal characters that appear in other Arthurian and Merlin legends are actually hidden in plain sight in Cursed. You don't really know who is who until they actually say their names. You never really, even their characteristics sometimes don't match with the normal characteristics of the characters in the normal Arthurian and Merlin legends. There are quite a bunch of villains in Cursed, but the biggest villain so far has been the church. The church is kind of portrayed as being evil and corrupt. They are terrible people and they want to wipe out the Fae. They want to wipe out the Fae community. They want to send them into oblivion, extinction, stuff like that. So really, the church is not portrayed in a good light in Cursed at all, which is actually kind of refreshing. So my likes and dislikes of Cursed. At the beginning, episode 1 and 2, I guess, everything was quite plain and vanilla. It wasn't really it didn't pique my interest that much. It was obvious what was gonna happen. Like, for example, you could see that Nimue and Arthur would obviously have a relationship, and I don't know if they're going to still have a relationship in the future seasons. But in season 1 episode at the beginning, they really, you could see that they were going to have a relationship. Another thing that was quite expected was the fact that Nimue wasn't going to want her responsibilities and she was going to run away and stuff like that. Defining moments, all those moments where the hero realizes that yes, I have to be a hero, I have to save my people, that kind of thing. She had that moment as well, and those kind of things where that was obvious and plain to me. So I wasn't really interested at the beginning, but towards episode 4, 5 to episode 10, I was really engrossed in the series. I became engrossed in the series a lot because towards that time you could see that Anime was having some kind of internal battle with herself. She's the heroine of the story, but also she was kind of becoming a dictator. She was looking like Daenerys Targaryen. That's what she was. That's how she was behaving like. Because in Game of Thrones, Daenerys was the heroine of the story, but eventually she started like going crazy and stuff like that. So that was something that Nimue was also going through, because at a point in like episode I think 7 or 8, I don't know, 6, she cut off the hands of one of her subjects, like her own people, not a human being, like a member of, like a Fae member, like a Fae person. She cut off his hands. She had her reasons for doing so, but still, the sword was controlling her. She was becoming a dictator. She was doing some very abnormal things at a point. So that's where my interest started becoming. I started becoming more interested in the series and stuff when she started turning into a dictator. My predictions for the future seasons, of course, are that Nimue will eventually meet her father. I also think that Guinevere will be introduced in the season 2. That's if she's not already in season 1, because there's some characters that we don't really know who they are at this point, at this moment. But I think she will be introduced properly in season 2, and eventually, I believe that Arthur and Guinevere will actually become a couple or have a relationship. Probably get married. I don't think Nimue and Arthur's relationship will continue. I also feel that Cursed won't end on a happy note. I think it's going to end on a tragic note, and I feel that the Sword of Power is going to end up in Arthur's hands, and that the church ends up winning. I also feel that the Fae might probably end up being wiped out of extinction. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more content from me, please subscribe. Thank you guys very much for watching.